a 7-time Pro Bowler after playing 14 seasons of football right here in Los Angeles for the Rams, a Pro Football Hall of Famer, Jack Youngblood, here on The Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Jack?
Richie.
What's up?
Thank you, brother, for having me on.
Are you kidding me? You've got a spot here anytime you want, Jack. You knew that.
I appreciate that.
You bet. What'd you think of the weekend, the Pro Football Hall of Fame weekend, Jack?
Rich, as you know, you've witnessed it and been a part of it. It's the special weekend for us old timers. There's nothing quite like it. It's such a unique group of guys. You don't miss that one. You just don't miss it.
And when you're sitting on the stage listening to the speeches, how are all you and your fellow immortals taking it in while you're sitting there listening to the speeches, Jack?
Well, it's always interesting to hear the life story behind some of these athletes. Sometimes they get carried away a little bit now. They can go over the top, but I mean, for the most part, it's awfully interesting to hear where they come from. You know, how it all developed and how they appreciate it now.
When you say over the top, you mean over a half an hour? Is that what you mean by over the top?
That's what I mean. I can't talk that long. I don't know. I don't have that much to say.
How long was your speech when you went in 2001, Jack?
I honestly tried to keep it in the 20-minute era. They gave us 15, and I thought that you could fudge a little bit. You don't want to miss acknowledging the most important people that were part of your venture, and it's awfully hard, over the course of the years, from the beginning to putting on that gold jacket. It's hard to include all of them and not forget someone along the way.
When you went in 2011, you were presented by Merlin Olsen. Why'd you choose Merlin, Jack?
What choice did I have?
I love that as an answer. No, I know there's an obvious answer, but I mean, there were many other guys that you could have chosen, but you chose Merlin for which reason?
Well, to begin with, he was my mentor, of course. One of the greatest defensive players that's ever played this game, and we were dear friends. He was like an older brother to me. He and Deacon both. I didn't get to have Deacon but for 1 year, but both of them contributed to. They put their arms around me early on because Tommy Prothero hated me, and I don't know why, but he did not like the way I played the game. Of course, I was young. I was a rookie and then a second-year guy. And both of them, Deacon did it the rookie year, and so did Merlin. They put their arm around me at some point in time. They saw my demeanor going down. I'm thinking, I'm gonna go home. They're gonna send me back to Gainesville. And they both put their arms around me and said, "Listen, kid, you can play. He doesn't know what he's talking about. We're going to teach you how to play." And I was all ears from that point on.
How do you play on a broken leg, Jack? How do you do something like that in a playoff game?
Not very well.
Did you know you had a broken leg when you were playing on a broken leg?
Oh, we took a picture of it in Dallas when I broke it, and I tried to make Clarence Shields, my orthopedic surgeon. I tried to make him tape the thing up because I told him, I said, I'm the captain of the football team. I've got to go try to play and contribute and help us win this ball game, because this was like the 5th or 6th times we'd been in that position. And I said, "You got to tape this thing up." He goes, "Well, I can't do it. Look at this film. You got this broken fibula. It's snapped." And I said, "I understand that. I told you that on the way in." He said, I can't do that. I said, "Yes, you can. You're going to do this, Clarence." He goes, "I can't do that." I said, "Why not?" He goes, "I don't know how to tape."
What? He doesn't know how to tape, really?
My orthopedic surgeon, he can cut on you. He can fix it from the inside out, but he can't fix it from the outside in.
Unbelievable. I'm on the phone with Jack Youngblood here on the Rich Eisen Show. Jack, there was a story that some of the Giants players, while enjoying the fact on occasion in training camp that their two-a-days have been cut down due to the new collective bargaining agreement, saying that the lack of hitting in practices now that have been mandated out of the game hurts tackling, hurts the level of play in the season because you're not used to it. What do you, from back in your old guard days, think of when you hear things like that, Jack?
Well, it's a simple principle. If you expect and want to be good at your craft, now I don't care if it's playing the tuba, you've got to practice your craft. And if you don't practice it, you're not going to be very good when it's time to be good. And I blame the union for that, for taking away from the game, not adding to it, but from taking away from the game, the quality of the game. And I went to practice with at St. Louis, and Fish asked me to come watch practice with him, and I did 2 years ago, and I walked in, practiced it, and it was Thursday, and that's supposed to be the offense's day, and they would run 7 or 8, 10, 12 plays at about three-quarter speed in all pads, and the defense would come in and give them a good show. That doesn't happen anymore. They're out there in helmets and T-shirts. And I looked at Fish and I said, how do you coach these guys? He goes, well, it's kind of tough these days.
Well, but you also know, and so do your colleagues up there on the stage, the rigors of the sport and how it can leave lasting effects long in life. I guess that's where the struggle is where the gray area here is in this whole thing, Jack.
Well, it's about the fundamentals of the game, too. If they don't understand the fundamentals of the game, you can get hurt out there, and that's what's happening. When you leave your feet, from a defensive perspective, you leave your feet to try to make a tackle, you're going to get hurt. You tackle with your legs. You put your face in front of them, you wrap up, and you take them down with your legs. You don't leave your feet. That's the one fundamental that I think that needs to be reinstituted, and the responsibility goes on. It starts at the top, from the ownership to the coaches, and they have to try and make, like I was saying before, you got to make them practice how to do it properly, how to hit that note at the time you need to hit that note correctly.
Mm-hmm. I'm on the phone with Jack Youngblood, Hall of Famer here on the Rich Eisen Show. You mentioned Fish. That was Jeff Fisher in reference to the St. Louis Rams. There's lots of rumors that the Rams might be returning to Los Angeles. The owners today and the NFL are hearing proposals about returning football to Los Angeles. What do you think about the possibility of football going back to the city where you played your professional football for 14 seasons, Jack?
Well, you would, from a personal perspective, you would like to see our Rams go back to our home in Los Angeles, my home in Los Angeles, Deacon's and Merlin's home and Gabe's home in Los Angeles. It's all about the money now. And it's going to be interesting. And a stadium costs $1 billion or two to put together. Mm-hmm. Then you got to move the franchise. I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether that's going to come down or not, because it's all about developing that piece of property for Kroenke, and then developing something on the other side of the coin in St. Louis. Try to upgrade that stadium there. A new stadium, something that is more productive for the franchise. I'm not sure which way it's going to go, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't happen now, I don't think it's ever going to happen, because I know everybody around here would think about that. Couple questions left for you. Deacon always, I know you said you only played 1 year with him, but you spent so many years with him back in Canton because he was the de facto leader of the returning Hall of Famers. Now that he's gone, is there another leader coming to the fore from your generation to welcome the newbies into Canton, Jack?
Yes, there is.
Who's that?
Yeah, there's some of the guys that have been there for quite a while. Bobby Bell, Dan Faust, Rayfield Wright, those guys who've been there for 18, 19 years. Mm-hmm. They've taken over some of the leadership. Willie Lanier, He's trying to lead us in that direction. It is so hard to step in the shoes of Ray Nitschke and Deacon Jones. Those are huge shoes, and the passion that those two had for the game, it's hard to reestablish.
Yeah. Before I let you go, Jack, let's get down to Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
Post-Jack at dinner, you and your lovely wife are getting ready to leave, and then suddenly you saw me, right? You saw this big, burly, bearded man come at you, Jack. Do you remember this on Thursday night?
Yeah. Yeah. You got to back up just a heartbeat. And
Did you recall wondering what? What did you recall wondering when Chris Law, my producer, came at you in the state that
he was your security.
I'd need to upgrade my security if that takes place, Jack.
Yeah. Look, Jack was the first. Jack, you were the first guest.
I took it for granted that if he's with you, he's a good guy.
Okay. So my name tarnished in any way by his behavior, Jack?
Oh, absolutely not. No. That was fine. You just gotta, when they go in that direction, you just kind of let them go.
Well, I did, but then he gave you a bear hug, Jack. He tried to lift you off the ground.
I know. It happens all the time.
So you're saying he's not the first overserved person to approach you, Jack, in your life?
No. And are you saying that he was overserved?
By Jim Kelly. Yeah.
Let's just put it this way, Jack. You recall this moment. Chris does not. I think that should answer the question for you.
I understand.
Look, Jack, that first year that I came to the Hall, you sat down with us. It was you and Jackie Slater. We had Jim Kelly on that year. And John Madden. I was excited. I saw you. You've been on a few times since. So what?
But we're all good, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. No question. You're the best, brother.
You too, Jack. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
You bet, Rich.
You bet. Jack Youngblood, get his book, True Grit.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.